In a small town nestled among green hills, there once lived a young gardener named Leo. Leo was known throughout the town for his beautiful garden, but there was a problem. He was incredibly lazy. Though he had all the tools, knowledge, and potential to grow an incredible garden, he often found himself putting off the important tasks. Every day he'd promise himself he would get to work, but the hours slipped away as he lingered in the shade, daydreaming or tending to minor distractions. His neighbors, who worked hard on their own gardens, often looked at Leo's beautiful yet unkempt patch of land with disappointment. They would tell him, "Leo, your garden could be so much more if you just put in the effort." But Leo would smile and say, "I'll do it tomorrow. There's no rush." One bright, sunny afternoon, a wise old gardener came to town. He was known far and wide for his knowledge of plants and growth. People gathered eagerly to meet him, hoping to learn his secrets. Leo, hoping to find a shortcut to make his garden flourish without much effort, decided to ask the gardener for advice. When his turn came, Leo walked up to the wise gardener, who was sitting under a large tree with a pot of tea beside him. Leo bowed and said, "Wise gardener, I am struggling. My garden is not as vibrant as it should be, and no matter how much I try, I am always behind. Please tell me how I can make it thrive effortlessly." The wise gardener looked at Leo with a warm smile and said, "Ah, Leo, the secret to a flourishing garden is simple, but it requires patience and care. You must stop procrastinating and start planting today. Let me tell you a story." The gardener began his tale. Once, there was a farmer who inherited a large plot of land. His neighbors warned him that the soil was poor and would need lots of work to make it fertile. But the farmer thought, "I'll start tomorrow," and kept delaying his work. He would enjoy his afternoons in the village, chatting with friends and spending his evenings by the fire. The days passed and he did nothing. One day he woke up to find that a wild storm had passed through his region. The strong winds had torn down trees and scattered debris across the land. The next morning, the farmer went outside to find that his soil had become even harder and less fertile. The storm had taken much of the nutrients, and now it was too late to plant anything. His neighbors, who had been working on their own land each day, had beautiful crops, while the farmer was left with barren fields. He realized that his laziness and procrastination had cost him everything. If he had simply started sooner, even a little each day, he would have had a garden that flourished. But now his land was wasted, just like his time. The wise gardener looked at Leo and said, "This story, young one, is a lesson. Time, like a garden, is precious. If you don't tend to it every day, the opportunity to grow something beautiful will slip away. You must work steadily, even if only a little at a time. Procrastination, like weeds, will choke your progress, and your dreams will fade." Leo stood there in silence, the words sinking into his heart. For the first time he understood. His garden, much like his life, had been left unattended because he kept putting off the work. He had wasted precious time waiting for the perfect moment, but now he saw that the moment was always now. With a bow, Leo thanked the wise gardener and rushed back to his garden. The next day, instead of sitting idly, he picked up his tools and began working. He cleared away the weeds, tended to the soil, and planted new seeds with care. Slowly but surely, his garden began to thrive, just like his life. As the seasons changed, so did Leo. He became a gardener not just of plants, but of his own habits. His garden flourished, and so did his work ethic. He learned that the effort he put in each day mattered, that small tasks done regularly would eventually lead to great results. From that day on, Leo never procrastinated again. He took care of his time, just as he cared for his garden, and his life blossomed into something truly beautiful. The lesson was clear. The time to act is always now, and those who tend to their time, just like a gardener tending to his plants, will reap the rewards of a well-lived life. And so Leo became the most admired gardener in the town, not just for the beauty of his garden, but for the wisdom he carried in his heart. He knew that time, once lost, could never be regained, and he vowed to never waste it again. Remember, if you dream of success, start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment, for the perfect moment is now. If you value time, time will value you. But if you waste time, time will waste you. Just like Leo, if you care for the time you have, your life will grow into something extraordinary.